Okay, welcome back to Beekeeping Basics with Danny. So today's Saturday, so we're a couple of days on from when we've done this inspection in this number one hive that we've done the last video on, where we didn't come across the queen. We did see 3-4 queen cells, supersedral cells, so it's a follow-on to this video because I'm really I don't know what's going on with this queen right now. So we're going to go into this hive and we're going to see if we can allocate this queen. We haven't had a swarm yesterday, we haven't had a swarm today as far as I know. So we're going to get into this hive and we're going to see if we can reallocate this queen. If we do have the nuke on standby, we can potentially get her out of there and do what we need to do. So yeah, let's get into here and let's have a look. Okay, so nice fresh clean hive tool as normal. Clean the gloves, everything's nice and clean. See where they're wet, with the mixture that we've done. Again, lovely. It's a clean hive tool, just keep everything in perspective, keep any kind of disease away. So we're going to get straight in. I'm not going to mess around with this today. Certainly not going to go for it twice over like we did previously. I'm just going to take one look. If I don't come across this queen, then I'm going to take it that she's either been killed or I don't know. It's very busy hive, as we well know. It is around about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Again, this is the frame that they're drawing out. So seem to be doing relatively well with that. They are drawing it out. And again, the same with this one. They are really are sticking these down. I can't even split that right now. It's crazy what they can do. So, again, they're drawing them out nicely. I might checker plate them later. Get that on there ready straight away, because we will be wanting to move this on. Just checking that we have no queen walking around on this for any particular reason. Nothing that I can see. So again, very busy. Trying to work out what might be the best frame to take out here. I'm going to go with this one for the minute. We're also going to get our frame holder in. Again, nice and gently, because there are bees on this inside. So I'm going to go for this one for the minute. Nice and slowly, really slowly, working with the bees to take this out. If I come across this queen on the first frame, would be absolutely lovely, wouldn't it? That is a stroke of luck if that was ever to happen. It's completely full out of nectar. Absolutely full out of nectar. I won't hold it over that way too much because the nectar will come out. So there's nothing that I can see queen wise on there. So we'll move that aside. Just checking what they're doing there, because that is a queen cup, and that again is a charged queen cup. Right there. That is a charged queen cup. So, keeping our eyes peeled now. As you can see, it is at the bottom, so you know that is indications of a swarm cell. There is fresh larvae there, only in one cell. Definitely a fresh queen cup there. It's not one of the previous ones that we see in here. Having a good check on this now. This really could do with seeing this queen. And like one of the subscribers said on one of the comments, we have had the June gap, and rightfully the queen does she does stop laying in that June gap, so that could be one of the reasons. Again, scouring this frame with my eyes. Having a good check on it. Nothing that indicates a queen there. I do have the queen catcher out ready. If we come across her, I will catch her. I won't be messing around. We'll catch her in the queen catcher. There's nothing that shows of her on there. This is taking me for 6, this hive, with what's happened. Queen cup there, but nothing. They are relatively calm. If there is no queen in there, that's an unusual thing. Generally they're a little bit agitative if there is no queen in the hive. So again, no indication. All they're doing is filling the cells where she should be laying with nectar right now. And that also is the concerning thing, because I don't really want them to do that. Let's not fill the room, but if we do get a queen in there, they will move that nectar to give her the laying room that she needs, theoretically. No. I was going to go into this hive tomorrow, Father's Day, but being Father's Day, trying to cram it all in, and with the worry of the swarm factor and the annoyance of not coming across the queen we've got in here today. And as you can see, there's no real drone brood. There is fresh larvae in here, So, you know, for me not to come across the queen right now, I'm going to be gobsmacked. Today, surely I have to come across this queen. Thorough check, and again, no real signs. Now we are in the middle frames where you'd like to think that you would see her. Larvae, very, very small amounts of larvae. And there we have a queen cup again, which again is charged, obviously. It is at the bottom. You know, and at this point is when they would be making a swarm. We have one there, there's nothing in that one. Lots of pollen and nectar in there. Again, nothing that's jumping out at me. There's a queen on this frame. And all the time there is larvae, they can, well, not so much with the larvae, I think it has to be an egg. I don't think they can move larvae to make a queen cell. I'm not 100% sure with that. Some larvae on there as well. Only there she is. Right, okay, so we found us, and now we have to do something. What did I do with my... Don't want to lose the sight of this queen. She's there. I did get my queen catcher out. There it is. Okay, so she's there. And I'm not 100% sure whether that's her. That is her. That is her. So I do believe we have her in there now. Oh, I do believe we had her caught. Okay, so we have this queen in here. She doesn't look like my original queen, for the simple fact that she looks smaller, a lot smaller, and she doesn't have the red dot on her. So let me see if I can get this to the camera the best I can for you. So she's there. Excuse the camera skills, it's very awkward. She's in there. I don't know how well. So at least now we can do something about this, and there she is. Okay, so that is good for me because I can now get on and do this split. I'm going to take a good look because I want to see if there's any kind of red markings on her. Doesn't look like it's my queen from originally, because there is no red worn off markings. This is so strange, and she has been very hard to find. So how they haven't already swarmed with a queen in here with them queen cells that are just about to cap over, I don't know. So right now, that is good. So let's get the nuke box sorted out over here. Just turn the camera. Let's try and get this right today. Okay, so let's get this box sorted out. So we're going to lose some of these frames out of here, because right now what we're going to do is we're going to sort these out so that we get X amount of bees to get 6 frames into this box. From that hive with that queen to stop this swarm that I can't believe hasn't already happened. We do have a few dead bees in here from previous. We're going to knock all that out. Anything that we don't want in there. A few ants, etc. So let's get that on there for the minute. Right, okay. Back to the hive. We can now start shaking off some bees. For instance, if there's nothing on here, there's no queen cells on this, and I won't shake the bees off because I need the bees on there. So do believe at this present time there is nothing on that. So we're going to move this into here. One frame. We will go with this frame here as well, because I'm pretty sure, again, there's nothing on this in conjunction with any cells, which there's not. So we'll get that one in there as well. We'll also introduce an empty frame in the middle of this now, just to keep them busy. Okay, so we've got this far. We know there was queen cells on them others, so let's have a look on this. And again, I can't see any kind of queen cell on this. Doing a slight blow just to move them out of the way, all around the edges. To make sure there is no kind of queen cell. We have a queen cup. We'll remove that. That's gone. I'm happy with that. But there's nothing on there, so in we go. And obviously if there's any foragers on here, then they will return back to that hive. So we need to make sure we've got plenty of nurse bees. So we will give a good shake off of nurse bees as well. Plenty of nectar on there. Pretty happy with the fact that that has no, we do have some cells there, we'll check in them. We have to be 100% sure, although they potentially would kill them off. Some drone larvae. Okay, so we'll introduce this as well. What I may even do is put another empty frame into here, just to keep these busy for the time being. It's very tough to get these in. So that is our nuke box. And as you can see, look, because the queen's on there, they're all going to the queen. They know she's in there. So this is when we offload the bees, because we're going to introduce her into here now. This is when we need to let her out. Do I get a mark on her while I've got this out? Yeah, because it does make life a little bit easier. So let's get, I think she's a new queen, so I'm going to go with a blue pen. She certainly doesn't look like my old queen. I don't know how that would have come around, but let's get a blue mark on her if we can. Trapping her right where we want her there. There we go. Right on our thorax. As seen, let it dry. So she now has a blue mark on her. You may struggle to see that there. Letting that dry. It's not the biggest of marks, but it's a mark. And that is what it's all about. So, getting ready with the lid, which we are not because we do have frames on it. So as soon as she's in there, we want to be putting this lid on. Removing our bees. A little bit of smoke on them. Let's get them down so we don't squash any of them. Okay, now that's what we don't want to happen. Let's lock that off. Now we have to be 100% sure she goes into this frame. Keeping our eye on her all the time. And there she goes. Now she is in successfully. Right. Okay, so that is a better day. When beekeeping goes like that, it makes it a whole lot interesting. as opposed to what we had the other day. So there we have it. So now all we got to do is, I think we owe that actual hive 3 frames. So we will introduce 3 frames into this now. Checkerboarding them. I don't have any, unfortunately, any already combed empty frames. That would have been a lot better for me, but we've got to roll with what we got. And this is called checkerboarding, when you do frame of bees, empty frame, frame of bees, empty frame. I was going to shake some bees off in there as well. Wonder if I could just do that. Can't see why I couldn't now. There is a substantial amount of bees in there. Just making sure, because we will have foragers go back, so we'll give this a shake. Lots of foragers in there, lots of nurse bees. Getting it closed up as quick as we can. Okay. So there we have it. And that's what it's all about. In with another frame. I do believe we're still a frame short. Still a lot of bees in there, and like I say, how I've managed to get away with not having a swarm, I'm going to be truthful with you, I don't know. Because I'm pretty sure on one of these frames, one of them was pretty due to be capped over. So, closing it all up now, nice and tight. Now what we'll do is get some smoke on these. Getting our frame holder out of there, so we'll need that on other hives. Just so we can get the queen excluder on here now without trapping these bees. Now we can leave these to their own devices. On with the queen excluder. Back on with our supers, letting them do what they need to do in there. I'm not going to checkerboard any of them just lately. We could potentially put one of these on one of them hives over there if it comes to it. Because I've got to have a look in there and also see what room they need as well. But we'll shut this one up for the time being. Unfortunately, we do have a few dead bees on there. So, okay, so again, washed off the hive tool with our mixture, making sure again, and the gloves, we're not going to spread any kind of disease from hive to hive. So common practice now has to be done. This we know has a 2025 queen in it. I was feeding them sugar syrup, it's just long empty. So let's get in and have a look at what's going on with these. Moving that aside, I don't think we're going to need that now. Oh. Get that in a minute. So they do have room. I won't need to introduce anything to this. I've got the room up here. So I'm not really working on this honey super. And they did have quite a bit in here to comb out. That's why I put the sugar syrup on there, just to help them with the bottom brew box. Because we had, I do believe, a few frames in there and they needed helping out, combing out. So on with our frame holder. Okay, don't want to do that. So nice and gently, just in case our queen is on this frame. So again, they're filling that out with nectar. There's no signs of a queen on that. So we'll put that into the frame holder out of our way for the moment. This is on a double brood, this box, so you know, you can understand why they've not really touched the super. Bearing in mind there were frames in here that needed combing out. So we will be not only looking for the queen, we'll be looking to see how well she started laying, more importantly. And she was a laying queen because when she was in the nuke box there was eggs and larvae in, so we know she was laying in this. It's just pollen stalls, and there's our queen there with the blue dot on her, walking around. She's a nice beefy queen, so let's get this one back in. Let's get it back into here. She's on the very bottom. I prefer her if she was to come over rather than sticking around down there. Come over, that's the one. Okay, because I think what she would potentially do is move down the box. Right, there she is, she's crawling around on there. Okay, let's get her down in there. Now we're just really looking, see how well she's laying. Oh, there's lots of cat brood on there, drone brood. That's what we want to see. That is the difference between this and the previous hive. That is what we're looking for. Now, with the room that they've got, etc., I could potentially scrap this hive right now and leave them to it. Again, look, she's doing what she needs to do. So that is a tremendous sight. This for me today is a far better. Just taking a good look at that. Larvae that's in there. Making sure it's how it seems to be, and it looks relatively good. It's nice, fresh and white. I don't think, oh no, I will have a look in the bottom brood box. I just want to see how they're combing it out if I can. There is pollen in there. I'm a little bit antsy with me, these bees going into here. But she has a nice bit of laying room, so that's good. And again, so it's all working out nicely in this one. Drone brood, you know, cat brood. So that's what we want. She's making us a good amount of laying progress. I'll have another look on this one. I won't go into the other two because generally, oh, look at that. That's beautiful. That is what we want to, and that is what I'm getting at when you look at this hive to what we've been looking at previously. That is the difference. This is what we want to be looking at. Adult bees just about to emerge on them frames. Excellent stuff. So we'll get this back in its order if we can. Just try and shove them three together. Try not to trap any bees. It does get a little bit difficult doing that. I do hate doing this, closing them back up. Just so we don't trap any, and certainly don't want to trap our queen. Placing them back in order. And I'm just going to have a quick look at the bottom brood box just to see how we're progressing with that. Oh, that's heavy. Oh God, yes, that is very heavy. So, as we can see, we might have to checkerboard some of these. Let's get this one out of here. Let's start to comb that out. We will still be mindful because that queen could have moved her way down. So don't take it for gospel just because we've seen her in that top box, she's going to be in that top box. It's not always the way. They're combing them out. This is why I give them sugar syrup to get these combed out with Hive Alive. Just to help them out. Lovely bit of cat brood, and there's lots of larvae, so it's brooding all stages on this one, and it does look nice. Nice colour, bright white larvae. That's what we're checking on. No disease as well. Bees looking good. Calm and collected. What we're going to do is we're going to checkerboard these. We're going to put that one in there. For the minute. Nicely combed out. Lots of laying room for that queen. Bees with bright orange pollen on them. I could even swap these two brood boxes around, to be fair. Now she's been laying in there nicely, and in there. And I think I might do that. I might swap them brood boxes around, putting that one on the bottom, this one on the top, and again comb that out nicely. This was where the queen was relatively in this kind of area when we had her on the top, so being mindful that she didn't come down whilst we was looking through the remainder. We're going to put checkerboard this one. I might just leave it as it is, to be fair. And again, cat brood in all stages. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Very happy with that. That's what we want to be looking for. So we're going to just smoke some of them away, so we can get this brood box back on. Getting our frame holder out. I always make that mistake. Placing that straight on there like so. Smoking these down so we can get our queen excluder on here. Without trapping any of the bees. That is our aim. There we go. Introduce that super. There's not a lot happening on that at all, but you know, the flow is started, so we'll see. Let's see what they do. I may even introduce a bit more sugar syrup actually to get them to frame these out. Yeah, definitely go for that. If I can get that, you know, up and running, get them combed out, give them a helping hand, then so be it. Another good bowl of it won't hurt. They've only had one of these so far. Let's get that back where it was. We'll go off, we'll mix some up, come back, and fill that up. Okay, so that was successful this time. So at last we managed to find that queen. That's music to my ears. That is absolutely music to my ears. So we've introduced her into the nuke box. We've hopefully now done swarm control. There's no reason for these to swarm. We've basically full swarmed these. How they didn't swarm up till now, I don't know. I honestly don't know. luck was on my side with that. I thought they was going to swarm today, really did. Anyway, we've got the queen out of there. I still don't believe that that was my genuine queen. I don't know what happened there. There was never ever queen cells in there. Look through the previous videos, we never come across any queen cells in there, but that's a different story. Right now, we've got her in there. She's in there with some room to start laying. We will monitor this, check in the laying room that she's got. Upside with this, that hive, I do believe we had a virgin queen in there. We see the virgin queen in there, and she had what is the male abdominum hanging out of the back of her. So effectively that told me she'd come back mated. So I'm not going to go into that hive. I'm going to give it another 7 days, and hopefully when I go into that hive we do see a full-blown mated queen that we can get out and mark. If for any reason we don't, and I've got it all wrong, and she wasn't a mated queen and she's gone out and she hasn't gone back, and that is a hopelessly queenless hive, then we have this to go into there. Personally, that's what I'd love to do away with this snook, because otherwise I'm going to have to set up another hive with this, because they're not going to hang around. I do have another hive to set up, but to be fair, I'd rather not. So we'll see how we go with that. I could extend this for the time being and do like I've done last winter, over winter this, build it up now that we're in the end of middle of June. We could build this up and we could overwinter this and potentially sell this as a really strong nuke next year, sorry. So we'll see what we do. Main thing is what I do with this now. So I think what I do is come back 3 days time, take all them cells out, make that hopelessly queenless, and I think I'm going to go and buy a mated queen and introduce her into that hive straight away. Some say why, you know, it's got a lot of bees in there, let them do their own cell, but I've done that all this year. I've produced my own queens, and I've had my ups and I've had my downs with that. So, you know, I think with the year that I've had so far with doing my own queens, I think I'm going to actually buy a mated queen for that one, and just a little bit more stress. So yeah, I think that's the route we'll go, and we'll go into that, like I say, in 3 days time. So anyway, that's the update on the #1 hive with the queen that we couldn't see, and I was 100% sure after going through 22 frames twice over that was queenless. That's beekeeping for you. So, and until next time, ciao for now.